Hello and welcome to the Swamp Chats post-game show here, a part of the Five Reasons Sports Network. The Florida Gators, number 3 ranked, just finished their game against South Carolina Gamecocks, winning 38-24, a game that should have not been as close as it was. Of course, it'll get into a lot of different things. First, I want to touch on something that happened during the game that's not, directly related, but someone that we talked about in the post game during the week has officially said that he's going to the University of Florida. He'll finish out his classes at Clemson in DeMarcus Bowman. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that quickly, Manny, before we get into the game.
I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I think it creates a pretty much very good depth in the running back position, something that obviously when it comes to recruiting at that position hasn't been good per se for Dan Mullen and the Florida Gators. But listen, getting a talent like that, from Lakeland, once again, the Lakeland UF connection is very, very strong, in my opinion. It's
Mhm.
just going to get better and better with this being added. But hey, I love it. Can't wait. It's just we kind of talked about it a little bit in our preview show where we found out that his connection to Clemson was because of family. Obviously, you can say that he got homesick, and but also being third or fourth on the depth chart, obviously with a 5-star recruit, sometimes he feels like he should be playing right away.
Right.
But for sure, it creates a need that we're going to need after this season. And man, I cannot wait. Super excited to have him on board. Hey, come January, come on board, get with the coaching staff, get familiar with the playbook, and hopefully with Corona, hopefully with Corona not being such a headache, he'll be able to get out there on the field for the spring and whatnot. So super excited about that.
Yeah, I know that that's something that you were definitely excited in going into the pregame that we had during the week, and then of course I saw the news come out through I believe like he told Gators territory, and then I just saw a bunch of other Gators people that I follow tweeting it out. Um, but to the game, Florida Gators win 38-24. A very, in my opinion, vanilla just offense was scoring. Defense holds on at the end from some very, very poor clock management, excuse me, from South Carolina. Um, Off the rip, I feel like still the conversation we'll get into, the offense. Kyle Trask, of course, he had a pretty good game. There were some throws there in that drive where he threw the interception where it was a little wobbly, but it's just the defense is still, I mean,
Yeah.
you saw it in that last drive. They could have possibly scored. Colin Hill, first of all, in that last one, he should have taken that himself. Shy Smith was talking crap to DBs and dropped 3 straight passes. Like there's those situations where they scored off the opening drive, then they score again, then they get the field goal. You guys should have just had it 17. That's it. They shouldn't have scored another touchdown after that. They shouldn't have been in position to score another touchdown and then possibly try an onside kick. You should have had the game over. The defense right now just it something needs to get better. Something needs to click. Someone
Yeah.
needs to step up.
I mean, when you kind of, you know what? If this wasn't a South Carolina coached by Will Muschamp, let's say it's Nick Saban and Tide or any other head coach that we have much respect for, this game would have probably been tied, and we probably would have been down with like a minute to go
Yeah.
and having to come back. It's just so many miscues by South Carolina that I think, as a Gator fans, we're gonna say, you know what, we got the W, let's move on. But I don't think that should be the case because you still got to analyze that there were a couple plays that South Carolina just miscued, man. Like
I mean, multiple
towards the
drop
end,
third downs as well.
multiple
Like,
drop third downs. Not to mention this final possession for South Carolina. It felt like it took the entire fourth quarter. I mean, you can't tell me that you're gonna go, no huddle, but yet you're going in the huddle. You're switching players in and out. You're going to all vanilla. Like if you're only down by one possession. I mean, damn. Any other coach in the SEC, I would think, would have been like, guys, let's go, let's
yeah.
go. And us on defense again, miss tackling, again, miscommunication in the secondary. And I'm sorry, but no linebacking plays. I guess besides Miller, I mean, it just looks very, very, as you said it, very vanilla, very
Yeah.
wait and see type of defense. Instead of us going after it, we're waiting, we're reacting, and we made Hill and South Carolina offense look like they're top five in the country, and that's pretty sad, man. But
It
we've
was
we
just
we we've talked about this before. We
yeah.
expected better. I did tell you in the preview show on Thursday, if South Carolina was going to have the lead, it would have to be in the first drive, first possession, and that's exactly what happened. They went right down the field. Once again, we gave up a 3rd and 10. I don't understand how you still give up 3rd and 10s. And again, mistackling, secondary miscommunication. Oh man, you want this to get some sort of you want to see improvement, but what I've seen, it just seems like it's stalling at the moment. And you're heading into Texas A&M, which they're about to play Alabama. I'm very intrigued to see what this offense for the Aggies has to come
Right.
is gonna do, because after last week's showing against Vanderbilt, I mean, that was pretty putrid. So I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna take the W. A win's a win. You're 2-0. But we're not number three in the country, man. I'm
No,
sorry. To be
we're
number three in the country, your offense and defense have to be stout or be consistent. And right now, the defense, it's not even nowhere near consistency.
I mean, they might stick at 3, maybe they'll go down to 4, something like that. They'll stay top 5, I think, once the rankings come out, no matter what. But as you said, like, you come in ranked number 3, you should just absolutely destroy South Carolina. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there was just so many. Again, it was like I felt it was just one of those vanilla Gators games. Offense was going to go down the field and score points, and defense like was going to have to make a play and step up. And it was just like, okay, we're just going to let Devin Harris run for 100 yards and a touchdown. We're going to Colin Hill threw the ball 47 times. And a lot, like, he had 28 completions, but a lot of those weren't even, like, the drops weren't even his fault. Dropped third downs all over the place. I mean, there were so many situations where the Gators defense got so lucky off of a dropped third down or a
Mm-hmm.
miscommunication or a breakdown in pass protection. So someone was able to get free for a sack or some disruption. Like, they were just getting lucky. They get, like, the defense wise. The offense, when they needed to go out there and they needed to put up the points, they were putting up the points. The offense, I feel like, took care of what they needed to take care of. Kadarius Toney was able to get on, which I'm sure you're very happy about, like, actually being on the offense. But the defense
Beautiful.
just they weren't doing their job. I mean, they weren't
No,
doing what they needed to
no.
do, and they just weren't executing. How are you gonna first of all, how are you gonna give up again? I think I'm gonna keep going back to it. Multiple plays on third down that you're giving up, multiple plays on fourth down that you're giving up, where you know that they're gonna run the ball down the middle and you just can't get a stop. 4th and 1, 4th and 2. You have situations like, if it's not for those drops, those drives from South Carolina go and go and go. And then that drive stalled because of a drop touchdown. Then you had another bad play that was broken up by the Gators, and then another drop touchdown where Colin Hill should have just ran in by himself and he would have been a free man to score. Like, it's just the thought, like, the Gators won the game. You take the win, 2-0, you keep it going, how you doing, keep it moving. But it's just situations where South Carolina harmed themselves more than the Gators did.
Yeah, and to quickly just touch back on the third and fourth down plays on the defense, they left so many space between themselves, and what I'm saying, like, I truly feel like South Carolina uh, got a clear vision on what to do on third and fourth down, because if you see on most of the plays that we were lining up defensively pre-snap, you have, Wilson and whoever else is covering in the slot, they're 5 to 10 yards away. And I'm thinking to myself, man, all I need is a quick slant to pick up this first down and it's there. You know what I'm saying? If you spreaded them out, you had full confidence in your offensive line to block 5 on 4, and you can gain those 5 yards for a first down. So again, I don't see much disguise. I don't see the energy. I don't see that fire that normally we're normally looking at when it comes to Florida Gators defense. And I don't know if it's the coaching. I'm not sure. Maybe if the guys just, I don't know. Like, cause I don't want to say that they're not interested in playing.
Right.
It doesn't look like it's clear right now. And if I'm Dan Mullen, I'm seriously getting into that defensive room come tonight, maybe or tomorrow morning, and wanting to figure it out. Like, why is it that on the first defensive possession, South Carolina goes right down the field like if they're
12
freaking
plays,
Clemson or
75
something?
yards.
And it's so methodic. It's quick. It's quick everything, and it's just those type of, I guess, situations with South Carolina per se shouldn't happen. But you know what? Again, I didn't think we were going to have football, and yet here we are. We're 2-0. I'm not happy about it. You know what though? I am going to say this. I'm glad this is happening because if we were 2-0 and if we were firing on all cylinders, I'm pretty sure the Gator Nation would be like, "Oh, we're the greatest thing right now. We have
Yeah,
nothing affecting us. We're playing great, but we have something to talk about, something to harp the coaching staff on, something to make sure that they know that we're not happy about."
there
And I
needs to
think
be
that's what's
improvement.
needed right now.
I mean,
Exactly. There needs to be improvement.
you look at it on just like the play by play, right? And it's something that I've been looking at for the past like minute here. The Gators only didn't score 4 times. You had the fumble by Trask. Okay. You had 3 play punt. 4 play after that touchdown, 3 play touchdown, 6 plays interception, a couple bad throws there, 3 play punt. So four on only 4 drives, 3 of them were punts. One of them was the fumble. You didn't score. And then if you want to count the end of the game, but I'm not going to count that one. That last
Mhm.
drive by South Carolina, 18 plays, 74 yards, 7 minutes and 23 seconds off the clock.
7 minutes on a drive when you're down by multiple possessions.
I mean,
I
third and
just don't
five,
understand what Champ is doing, man.
Colin Hill passes it to Fenwick for 8 yards. Third and 13, he gets
Uh-huh.
it to Mullins for 9.
It's
Fourth and 4, he
dink
gets it
dunk
to
dunk
Smith for
picking you
8.
apart. Hmm.
Third and 2, Fenwick runs for 1 yard. Fourth and 1, Harris runs for 2 yards. Like, and if it wasn't for that, again, the last 4 plays, incomplete to Shy Smith, incomplete to Shy Smith, incomplete to Shy Smith, incomplete to Shy Smith. And like 2 of those, no, 3 of them were drops and one of them was a pass breakup. Like that situation's like it just doesn't make any sense. First and 10, like all these situations where they're moving down the field, 18 plays. You couldn't get a stop on third and
Yeah,
third. You got the stop on third and 13, but you couldn't get them off the field. Couldn't get the stop on third and 5. Couldn't get the stop on fourth and 4. Couldn't get the stop on third and 2. Fourth and 1. Like fourth and goal, you got it because Shy Smith dropped the pass. If not, that's
correct.
a touchdown, and who knows what happens.
The pass was actually thrown behind him, but you're right though. Hill should have
Yeah,
ran that in. He had plenty of time and space, but
should have ran it in.
it's just yeah. But I mean, to get back to that, it's like what I just said. The third down and fourth down was so obvious to what South Carolina was going to do to get the first down. And I feel like we just gave it to them because once
Yeah,
again, it was such a basic coverage scheme. There's gaps everywhere. And, it's back to back weeks where we've seen an Ole Miss offense with a new coaching staff all of a sudden take advantage of that. And now we've seen a South Carolina with Colin Hill, okay, a quarterback transfer from Colorado State, okay. Yes, he only completed 20 some passes in less than 300 yards, but it's like you said, South Carolina guys drop passes all day.
yeah,
I think they left at least 14, maybe 17 points out there that who knows if we even have a shot to win it in the end. But I don't blame the offense. I blame the defense because I wanted them to set the tone from the get go. We both talked about it Thursday night in the preview. I wanted the defense to set the tone. First game at home, get out there, do a 3-and-out. First 2 plays, wonderful. Third down and 10, all of a sudden it opened up the floodgates for South Carolina to look like the quickest show on turf, go down the field and score a touchdown. It's
yep.
inexcusable. It's inexcusable. And I could sit here and say, well, Todd Grantham needs to do something different. I don't think it's Todd Grantham anymore, man. I think
It
it's
looks
either
like
the
it's an
players are not.
effort or like
It's an effort. It's either the players are not responding to the scheme that's given, or they don't trust it, and they're just going out there like, you know what, we'll try our best, and if we make the play, great. We don't make the play, then no. I don't know. Next week is Texas A&M. After that's LSU, and it's just going to get harder and harder after that. So I'm just
yeah,
hoping that at some point there's a game in there before we hit that meat of the schedule where they play a complete game. And listen, it's college football. I understand you're going to give up 14, 20 points, but it's just the way that you're
they
doing it
did.
throughout the game that's frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, again, play by play, first drive, as you said. First and 10, they get it. Then they have first and 10 stuffed. Second and 9 stuffed. Third and 10, they complete 22 yards. First and 10, then they get it again. Second and 5, they get it. First and 10, they get yards. Second and 10, they get yards. First and 10, second and 4. Like you could even get them to a third down play on that first drive. Then you hold them to a
Mm-hmm.
punt or like you 2 more touchdowns, hold them to a punt. Then you fumble, 9 plays, touchdown. And you're holding them to all this. Like they didn't score again until the end of the second quarter. No, yes. They didn't score again until the third quarter, sorry. Like you had
No,
them
you
in the
can. No, I'm just here trying to look at these. I'm just here trying to look at these stats on offense for South Carolina. Look at that.
it's
Well, I mean, oh man, it's just when you look at it as a whole, they outpossessed us. They outgained us on first down with every single time they were converting on third and fourth down. And South Carolina only committed one turnover. Once again, we wanted to see more turnovers from the defense. I mean, that's it. I don't know. It's frustration, man. I
it's
can't. I
just it's ridiculous.
don't
And I
know
think
what else to. Hmm.
fans will look at it, and I mean, like if we when you look at just the straight stats, fans will look at it, they'll say, "Oh, they were 6 for 17 on third down. What do you mean getting stops on third down?" It's like, okay,
Kai,
and then they were
Kai,
five
Kai.
for six on fourth. Like,
Exactly, exactly.
like
Five for
come
six
on
on fourth
here.
down efficiency to South Carolina. I'm sorry, they don't have Tua. Like, what the hell's going on?
It, it
You
was
know?
it was ridiculous. And as I said, they
Oh.
outpossession just 36 minutes to 23. I mean, the offense was scoring quickly. I think that's and those last two drives, South Carolina really took a lot of time off. So when you look at it just stat wise, a lot of it looks bad, but it's not as bad. But it just something needs to give. Um, with the offense, I think it was just they were when they needed to be, they were clinical and they just did what they needed to do.
Yeah, but then also I would have probably wanted to see Grimes play a bigger role. Would have wanted to see Copeland probably play a much bigger role. Not everything to Pitts. But
Yeah,
if that's what the defense is going to give you, you got to take advantage of that. Again, going back to the Gators defense, which listen, I'm not going to harp on the offense much. They did what they needed to do. To me personally, in this offense, when you score over 30 plus, you're giving us a shot to win every single week, week in and week out. But giving
right.
up 117 yards on the ground, 212 passing, but yet it's just the way that South Carolina, they didn't have no big plays on the field. So there's no excuse for you not to be able to get off on third and fourth down with at least our type of athletes. But they dinked and dunked 6 for 17 from third down efficiency, but went 5 for 6 from fourth down, and they completed you know a good amount of passes within 10 to 15-yard range with complete ease because of missed tackling, miscommunication once again in the secondary. You had Moon and Campbell back, but the pass rush wasn't there until you were down 14-0. You shouldn't have to have energy on the D line, guys,
Yeah,
after giving up a second touchdown. It should be starting from the moment you touch the field, from the moment you hit the first play, you know?
yeah. I mean, it was
But,
just again, and I only touched on the offense just because you have to at least mention, yeah, they did their part, right? They did what they're supposed to do. They did what they were expected to do,
mm-hmm.
score points, put up the numbers. They handled it. I it's just again the way that South Carolina was able to just move on offense. You cannot towards the end of the game. I don't care what situation it is. I don't care if it's college football. You cannot give up 18 plays and let them hold the ball for almost 8 minutes at the end of the game and put their team in a position where if they get an onside kick that they have a chance to tie the game and send this into OT. Like that should
Sure.
not happen.
Yeah. And then
Shouldn't
I guess
happen.
this is also a game that if any Gator fan hasn't watched it and they see the score, they go, okay, well, we won 30-24. I'm pretty sure the moment you watch that tape and you see the defensive effort in the beginning and you rewatch it again throughout the game, you'll kind of sense where we're coming from because, yeah, you won
Right.
38-24. I mean, maybe if it was 38-17 and you gave up a late touchdown, okay, that's
Yeah.
doable. But when you know that South Carolina left points on the board, when you know they hurt themselves once again, like once again, Will Muschamp, what in the name in God are you doing? Doing a 7-minute, 8-minute drive
The
towards
thing
the
is
end of the
for
game
them,
where you're down.
where was that the rest of the game?
There,
It's just
there was no
we're Gators
urgency.
fans, but Jesus.
Jesus, but even the broadcasters are like, why in the heck are they going into a huddle?
Exactly.
Why are they substituting packages at this time?
It made
There's
no
plenty
sense.
30-yard line, and they're deciding to switch out 4 guys on offense. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God it was one of us, champ, though, man. Because I don't know how it goes anybody else.
Yeah, it was just you know what? I think the way that we because there's nothing really more to talk about. It is defense, offense did what they needed to do. Um, I think when we get into it, Texas A&M, they're gonna play Alabama today. We'll be at Texas A&M in College Town next week. Um, how do you feel going into that game? Just as a quick little preview.
Well, I feel like it creates more tape for Jimbo to look at us after they play Alabama today and kind of figure out on where to, try to beat us per se. A lot of dicks and dunks. He knows he can convert there in the fourth down because once again, the defensive showing pre-snap, it was so easy. Like me and you could have been on the sidelines and I could have told you, hey, coach, their slot guy's 10 yards back and it's 3rd and 5 almost every single possession. Quick slant, quick screen. It's so easy. I mean, we don't have to be coaches to know these things,
Right.
And again, going 4 out of 5 on fourth down, and then you look at it pre-snap, and I could tell you, hey, listen, there's five, there's five offensive linemen, and there's only 4 guys on the D line right now, and you need 3 yards for a first down. Linebackers are nowhere to be seen at the line of scrimmage. Just run the ball and get it. It's very
Yeah.
easy. But we'll see. I'm very intrigued to see how Texas A&M's offense does. Like I said, they're playing Alabama right now. I really want to see if they made any changes or how they're going to approach that game. And I'll probably have a much clearer picture after the game, and we could definitely talk about it on our preview this upcoming week, which we will be having our first official guest from 560 from the Joe Rowe Show, Zach Krantz, a Gators alum. So make sure you guys catch that one. I feel okay. Like I said, if it wasn't for the offense doing what it's been doing,
Right.
I probably feel a little bit nervous. But
Right.
you know, there's still time to improve. But this is the SEC, man. We're not in Sun Belt. We're not in Pac. We're not in Big 12 where you can score 40 points and you expect to give up 40 points. No. This is the SEC, man.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to show up week in and week out and play consistent. And right now, this defensive side of the football for the Gators is not consistent.
Yeah. Well, I think we can leave it off there. We'll have our preview show. As you said, Zach Krantz will join us during the week. And then, everyone, you should be tuning into what happens with Texas A&M today and Alabama. And then, of course, we'll have everything there in the preview with Zach Krantz and ourselves during the week. And then hopefully the Gators can go in and get the win next week and get to 3-0.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for watching and following us. Make sure to follow us on the Twitter. You see it at the bottom at 5R Swamp Chat. 5R Swamp Chats. Guys, have any questions, any concerns, or any comments? Please just go ahead and tag us at our own Twitter accounts. We're right there. I'm at Manny C _17. You have Kaya at Samurai Radio. He has 2 eyes in Samurai. I don't know
Yep.
why. That's what he loves it. He likes it.
The
So
original
yeah.
one was
So like I
taken.
said,
So
there we go. Oh, of course. Now Twitter is so popular, you can't even come up with names anymore because everybody already has them, and the people
when
that
I
have
went
them
for
have
it
like one
originally,
follower.
someone had it was because I was Samurai Kai or something, and someone already had that, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna add an extra I to Samurai, and then when I made my YouTube channel, I was like, I'm just gonna call it Samurai Radio because my friends call me Samurai Kai, and that's how it happened.
There you go. All right, Gator fans. Well, listen, you won the game. You're 2-0, 2-0 in conference, obviously, because you're playing in conference. Bowman's a Gator. He'll be coming in January. That's great. That's awesome. At least those are some positivity.
Yeah.
Lots of work to do on the defensive side, though. But hey, we'll take it game by game. Obviously, our goal is to reach Atlanta. That still hasn't changed. But we'll see what the Gators do this week, and hopefully, at College Station, will come up with a big W.
Yep. All right,
All
guys.
right,
We'll see you
guys.
guys in
See
the
you later.
preview.
Go Gators.